Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So I want to give a shout out to one of our viewers here on Instagram. His name is, he sent me this message yesterday. His name is Randy Lull, right? Randy Lull. Shout out to Randy Lull, man. So Randy sends me this video today or yesterday, however, I don't know the exact time. And he goes, check out this video of Chris Brousard shutting down Nick Wright for trying to hate on Michael Jordan. And I'm like, so what happened now, right? So as you guys know, Max Kellerman recently was on a podcast with him and Rich Paul. We did a show about this where Max was saying that he believed that Michael Jordan could average a 40-point triple-double, and he was essentially making his case to Rich Paul, and Rich Paul was pushing back. So we want to play that for y'all, just to give this video some context, because this is directly what they were talking about, and Nick Wright goes after some of the points that Max Kellerman was bringing up. So take a look at what Max Kellerman and Rich Paul argued about the other day, and we're going to come back and continue on. Take a listen to these guys here.
Michael Jordan in today's game would average a 40-point triple-double, Rich.
Now you're out of your mind.
I'll explain. Michael Jordan's usage rate was way ahead of everyone else's in his day. And today the usage rate is even higher for the primary guy. His usage rate would be through the roof. It would dwarf Luka's or Harden's.
You know, sometimes
that's one.
Sometimes people say things, and here's the thing. MJ is my guy. Like,
I'll
like
prove
really,
it.
like really.
I got you.
And that's like, we have a great relationship. And I never ask him these things when I'm around him because whatever. But I do believe sometimes people say things that he don't even believe.
I will demonstrate the case. You tell me where there's a flaw in the logic. The usage rate would be even higher than it used to be. Now, the way that guy is used nowadays is as the primary ball handler, right? They take what used to be a two guard and they make him or even a three, and they make him the point guard, basically. MJ spent 1 year of his career as a point guard. He averaged 32, 8, and 8. That's the first thing. And the usage rate is much higher now. But here's the next thing, Rich. People talk about MJ's outside shooting, right? Because he was a 33-ish% lifetime three-point shooter.
No, he was a born jump shooter. Why would you talk about his outside shooting? The three ball, or you just saying
I'm talking about
jump
the three
shot?
ball. The three ball. MJ,
he would perfect
three
that.
times in his career, shot at least 3 threes a game. Every time he shot at least 3 threes a game, meaning he had more reps doing it, he shot no less than 37%, almost 38% from three, okay? Meaning, nowadays, a player like MJ would shoot 8, 10, 12 threes a game, given his high usage. And the more he shot, the higher the percentage went, which is in form with how his jump shooting was, his free throw shooting. He could shoot. MJ would be no less than a 37%, maybe a 40% three-point shooter if he was focusing on that part of his game, and his own stats bear it out. His usage rate would be higher. What does 32, 8, and 8 turn into? What does 37, 5, and 6 turn into? Because he averaged it back then.
No, you're missing a major point. You're basing this as if people still consider the pecking order. These kids today, they're not bowing down to nobody. They're not just going to sit around and let you shoot every shot.
I mean, they do it for Luka and Harden.
No, they don't.
They did it for Harden.
No.
But,
No,
okay,
they don't.
Are you
That's
telling
not-
me that Luka or Harden would average more points than MJ?
What I'm telling
They're in
you
the
is-
mid-30s.
What I'm telling you is, in today's NBA, guys are coming in and they're not caring as much as you think about who you are and what you did. Because in their mind, I'm the guy too. So I disagree with that. Now, could he average 40? Yeah.
How did
he? Yeah. But you said a 40-point triple-double.
But, Rich, if he's at 32, 8, and 8 in that era, without shooting the three, what do you think he is today? You think he's not going to add 5, 8 and he had 37
you
points.
said a
he's at 35
40-point
points.
triple-double.
He would average over multiple seasons. He would average that.
Oh, my God.
And he would win the
I know
championship.
you got the shoes
while doing
on,
it.
but this is ridiculous. And again, you're talking to the biggest fan. Listen, let me just tell you.
Harden came close to a 30 plus point triple-double. Do you know how much better in every area of the game MJ was than Harden? Harden doesn't do a single thing better than MJ.
Do you know I could recite every commercial that came on WGN? Because I never changed the channel.
I got you.
Okay, so this is, but why would you focus? This is a great question that I'm asking. And you go right to Michael Jordan, a guy that we know could do all things.
Okay.
Great. So you heard that, right? So I tuned into this clip on First Things First to see what these guys are talking about. And they were talking about like Chris Broussard was talking about like the return of Jason Tatum and the pressure he could face and blah, 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 blah. And then somehow, some way, the conversation started to veer into what Max Kellerman said. And he began to discuss, Nick Wright now, discuss what Max was saying about Jordan averaging a 40-point triple-double. And then Nick Wright tries to go off and try to explain why that wouldn't happen. And in typical Nick Wright fashion, man, he gives some kind of obtuse arguments. But luckily, Chris Broussard was on the set, and he was there to catch him and absolutely shut his ass down. So take a listen to this exchange here. It's really, really entertaining. I want you guys to listen to it in its entirety. I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to these guys here.
There are very few instances of a guy his caliber, missing, coming back for his first game this late in the year, and then they go on to win a championship.
I mean, are there
I actually just read something about this. I wish I had written them down. There are a few instances across all of sports.
When did Jordan come back?
Say it again?
When did Jordan come back?
He came back late. It was like 18 games of, but
they didn't win.
No, I know. That's what.
Oh,
we talking about?
It was like 18
and
games
winning.
left.
I'm talking about guys who have missed this much and winning. You've got a handful in the history of sports, but they've got a real shot at it.
Time now for the Sports Media Ombudsman as I think of guys who came back late, right before the playoffs, and won.
It's funny you guys mentioned Michael Jordan because he comes up in this one. And
for a three-peat, you gonna congratulate him?
Well, yes, I would like to congratulate NASCAR owner Michael Jordan in 2311 because, many are saying him being on the most to lose list for the Daytona 500 is what really kicked them into gear, no pun intended.
Fair.
But that's not where I'm going with this. And I also, before I even go, would like to say this. I know that at times I poke fun at Michael Jordan because somebody has to. He's a god amongst sports media, amongst sports fans.
Sure.
And he is obviously, arguably, the greatest basketball player of all time, and inarguably one of the most iconic athletes of all time. All of that can stand on its own without needing to denigrate current athletes or kind of other athletes of his era, which brings me to today's Sports Media Ombudsman and two of my favorite people in sports media, Rich Paul and Max Kellerman, and their new podcast, Game Over. Rich, I've known, kind of pseudo work with. Max, I kind of interned for on a radio station 20-some years ago at ESPN Radio in New York City. I interned for Michael K's show. Max's show was on after. He was always so nice. And I think he is one of the sharpest people in sports media. And one of the reasons I think he's so sharp is because, not only because he argues a lot like I do, and it's really a compliment to myself, but because he usually takes every position to its furthest logical conclusion and kind of thinks about the rebuttals. I don't think he did that when he said yesterday or the day before, Michael Jordan would average a 40-point triple-double in today's game. And you hear that occasionally. And I don't want to focus on the triple-double part. I want to focus on the 40-point part because it's so outrageous. Because I know Brew.
I think he could.
So
not for a career.
Here's why I find it ridiculous.
Okay.
You cannot apply that era inflation to only Michael, and you cannot apply that era deflation to none of today's players. Here's what I mean. Michael Jordan averaged 30 a game for his career. So 30 a lot of seasons.
Are you saying for his career? I don't think for his career.
For a season he averaged 37 once. So if you're saying one season, I don't think that's what Max was saying. Because I agree that the year he averaged 37. If he averaged 37, he could average 40. But the 30 a game turning into 40 a game is a 33% premium. Which, if we apply then to other guys so Dominique Wilkins, if he played today, would be 36 a game because he was 27 a game for his career. And what about the big-time scorers today are we cutting their scoring by 33% if they played back in that era? So LeBron and Kevin Durant, who averaged 27 a game, they're not down to 18 a game, which is Jamal Mashburn. Well, no, obviously not. Carmelo Anthony, he's all of a sudden Hornets Del Curry. He's 15 a game. No.
I don't think anyone's.
Right. That is my exact point. Of course nobody's saying that. But then then the argument falls apart. If what you're saying is that it is so much easier to score today than it was then.
Do you think it is?
I do think it is easier to score today, but not enough to where you're going to go from a 30-point per game for your career to 40.
I would be shocked if he's saying that for a career.
Well,
I think he's probably saying a few seasons. Like, I think he could average 40 a few seasons. In today's, it is half of the, well, not half for him, but so many more of the shots he took would be worth 3 points versus 2. What? He would be because he'd be shooting more threes. He'd be just like LeBron, had he played in Jordan's era, would have been a better post player because you had to. That could be a strength that he's never really utilized. Jordan would shoot more threes in adjusting to the type of game, and he would score more points just for that reason alone, let alone it's so much easier to get to the rim. They give you the mid-range shot.
So I wasn't
he
trying
could for a few
to,
seasons.
I wasn't, we don't have to spend a ton of time on this. I reject the notion that Michael Jordan was, when the line wasn't moved in, a bad three-point shooter because he didn't want to be good at it. I would, if
he said he didn't want to be. I mean, you could believe it or not.
I know he said it. He in the years the line was where it is now, he was 29%. He shot for the era, a little about more. He shot more often than the average player. He shot 1,800 for his career. About 600 of those were in the years when the line was
average
moved
per
in.
game.
For his entire career, which is again above average for the time.
But they didn't shoot it back then.
I understand, but
even the great ones didn't shoot it.
Right, but the
great shooters.
It is common wisdom, conventional wisdom, that if Michael Jordan wanted to be good at three-point shooting, he would have been. And my, I guess, controversial take is I think Michael Jordan wanted to be good at everything, and this was the one thing he just wasn't good at. And the only years he was good at it was when the line was moved.
You really think if Michael Jordan played today, he would not have been a better three-point shooter than back then?
No. I didn't say he wouldn't be incrementally better. But I do not think that a guy who played 15 years in this league, only shot a high number of threes when the line was moved in. Right. And the other years, it shot 29%, and I'm rounding up for his career, would not all of a sudden be a good three-point shooter. I don't think that.
LeBron went from being a bad mid-range and three-point shooter to being a good three-point shooter.
Correct. He got better at it.
Because he worked on it.
Right.
I don't think Jordan really worked on the three. And I'm not even trying to make it a Jordan LeBron. I'm just saying LeBron has never really fully established himself as a great post player.
Sure.
I believe had he played in the 80s and 90s where that was more part of the game, he would have been killing people when he wanted to down, just like Jordan and Kobe did.
But I'm
just giving him that. Just like I'm shocked you think, and I'm not saying Jordan would be like Steph Curry. I'm just saying I think would have been an adequate three-point shooter where it was a part of his game.
The LeBron post play thing, we saw a season or two where he focused on it and was good, a good post player.
But
it was never high volume. Yeah. We don't have a single season of evidence at the regulation three-point line where Jordan was good at it. So I don't think it was by choice. I think it's
choice that you don't work on it a lot.
Allen
Houston was a phenomenal three-point shooter and shot less than 5 a game for his career.
Right.
But they didn't do that as much.
But the argument against Jordan's three-point shooting is not a lack of volume; it's the percentage. And so we can disagree on it. I think that saying, if Max was saying just for a year, so be it.
Yeah, I can't.
But it is. If it's that easy to score in today's game, then what we're saying is Durant would struggle in the 90s, and I don't buy that.
You got 37, 38, 40-year-olds dropping 25 a game, 27 a game today.
Great. So you heard what they had to say. Let's get into it. Let's listen to what Nick Wright was saying. No, let's first address what Max Kellerman was saying, which is something we've done. We've done shows on this already. Okay. So Max isn't breaking any news here or breaking new ground here. If you look at the season in which Jordan averaged 37 a game, 37.1, MJ attempted 66 threes and made 12 that year. The guy averaged 37, 3 points shy of 40, and only made 12 three-pointers. 12 three-pointers, and only attempted 66. 12 three-pointers, which means he made a three every 20 games, or 3 threes every 20 games, something like that. Cuckoo stuff, right? Just insane stuff. And he was still able to average that many points. But Nick Wright was trying to attack Michael Jordan's three-point shooting percentage. And then Chris Broussard brought up the data. And Max Kellerman did as well. When Jordan attempted over 3 threes a game, his shooting percentage in terms of threes went up. So Nick Wright was saying that he doesn't believe that Jordan will be able to excel at shooting the three today, even though the evidence refutes the point that he's making, because we already have the evidence from what Max Kellerman said. When you increase his attempts, his shooting percentage from beyond the arc goes up. So I don't understand what point Nick Wright is making here. Number one. Number two, Nick wasn't adjusting for the pace of the game today. There are more possessions. Number one. Number two, there aren't any bigs to clog up the paint. There's freedom of movement, so you can't hit guys and check them with their elbows as they, slicing through the paint. You don't do all of those things, so the physicality isn't there. And I think Michael Jordan would run over this league. He would run over the league. I think the reason you're hearing this pushback from Nick is that it by agreeing with him, it creates too much of a gap between Jordan and everyone else that's ever played basketball, including LeBron James. That's what I think Nick is fighting against. Because if he were to say, yeah, I think Max Kellerman is correct, then why are we in awe of LeBron, or for that matter, anybody? Why are we in awe of Anthony Edwards? Why are we in awe of any of these guys? When you have a guy that can do something that doesn't seem like what a human being should be able to do on a basketball court. That's the reason for the pushback. But I don't think Nick Wright and these guys had the argument on their side to support whatever point it is that they were trying to make. Shannon Sharpe is back on Nightcap again, doing his usual thing that he does for LeBron James. And I'm beginning to understand that I think Shannon Sharpe's viewers are really, really low information people. Because anyone that listens to Shannon make these arguments, you must be a low information person to think that this guy is making any sense. So apparently he's doing his show. And I think one of his viewers asked him, because I think we're talking about LeBron and this and this and this. He was like, of course, I think LeBron passed Kareem last night for most field goal attempts and made. And they were like, why didn't he? Like, he's like, yeah, he's played for like 30 plus years, man. Like, he should score that many points. And then Shannon Sharpe out of nowhere starts talking about, well, Kobe Bryant played for 20 years and he scored 33 and LeBron James scored 39,000. So what do you mean? And why didn't Kobe? So he got into this whole thing. So I'm going to play this for you now, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Shannon here.
Playing for 30 years, you should break all the records. Please retire. All I know is that Kobe played 20 years. Did he break the record? At the 20-year, at the 1 year mark, 2 year, 3, all the way to 20, LeBron has scored more points than Kobe. Kareem had the record at 20. LeBron broke every record Kareem had at the age of 20. So in 20 years, LeBron was the all-time leading scorer. I'm confused. So if you look at it, Kobe ended up with 33,000 points and played 20 seasons. LeBron had 39,000 points in 20 seasons. I ain't good with math. I told y'all, multiplication, I wasn't good. But last I checked, 39 is more than 33. So if I score more points in the same amount of years, what are we missing? What are we missing? Come on, Black Moses. Hop back in the chat.
Good. So you heard what Shannon Sharpe had to say. Now, I already knew this, right? Because I've researched this guy. I mean, we knew this. But what surprises me is that, number one, Joe Johnson wasn't pushing back. I don't know why. They look like they holding him hostage up there. Chad Johnson, he don't know much about basketball, so he just pretty much believes what Shannon tells him. And his audience, if you read the comments, it's like some of them agreeing with him. Like, y'all are not even being serious right now. Like, you're agreeing with Shannon based off of what? So wait a minute. Your idea. Okay, so what's the point you're making here? Because LeBron scored 9,000 more points. I don't know the number. To Kobe's 33,000 in 20 years. You're saying that what? That LeBron is that much better of a player or that much better of a scorer. That's your takeaway from it. The only people that would take away that conclusion from that are people that don't know. They're low information basketball fans, very low information fans. First of all, when LeBron came into the NBA, and we all know this, not we all, some of us know this, he came on a horrible team. So when you're a horrible team, rookies can get minutes on those teams, and they gave LeBron minutes. He was a starter. When Kobe came into the NBA, he was playing on a team that I believe had won over 50 games. And he was playing on a team full of veterans like Eddie Jones and Shaq and all of these guys. So he was on a team full of veterans. And he had a coach that didn't believe in playing a rookie starter minutes or as a starter. So Kobe had to go through that whole nonsense, right? That's why if you look at Kobe's numbers, his first year as a rookie, he only averaged 7.6 points per game. In 15 minutes. Now, some people look at that and be like, damn, Kobe sucks. Think hard. The next year, he played 26 minutes a game. His scoring went up to what? 15, right? But by the time he became a full-time starter, in 1998, 1999, he was already scoring 20 points per game. And from that point forward, Kobe Bryant scored 20-plus points per game until the year he injured his Achilles tendon. Until that point forward. So, Kobe's first 2 years, he didn't really play. LeBron did. So that's why LeBron has those extra points over Kobe. Then Kobe's last 3 years, he got hurt. He tore his Achilles, so his numbers dropped significantly. The year after he tore his Achilles, the year prior to that, Kobe was averaging 27.3 at 34. The next year, it dropped to 13.8. He played 6 games. The next year went to 23.2, where he tore his shoulders and all of that. He averaged 22 points per game. And then his last year, he averaged 17.6. Those years, Kobe had suffered devastating injuries. Devastating injuries at that point. So Kobe's scoring was affected by his last 4 years in his career and his first 2. So to have a better understanding of what Kobe was doing when he was actually playing minutes and playing, look at what Kobe averaged from the year he started getting started minutes to the age of 34. Then you understand what Kobe's averages really were as a player. But I know this already. And Shannon knows this. But his job is not to inform his audience. His job is to make his argument. Now, if Shannon is trying to suggest that Kobe Bryant, or rather LeBron James, is a better scorer than Kobe Bryant, then I don't need to be having a conversation with you about basketball. I'm not having a conversation with somebody who thinks they're saying that LeBron is a better scorer than Kobe. I'm not having that conversation with you. You're not a serious person. You're not. To think that LeBron is a better scorer than Kobe is laughable to me. And it means you're not a serious NBA. You're not here to have a substantive conversation. You're here to troll and say stupid things. I just explained his averages. If LeBron suffered an Achilles tendon tear, God forbid, 3 years ago and all of that, his numbers would drop, especially given the fact that his game is based off of more physicality than skill. He would really be affected. If you want to understand Kobe's real average, go look at Kobe Bryant's numbers when he became a starter in 1998, all the way up to 34. And Kobe Bryant led a decade in scoring. LeBron didn't. Kobe led a decade in scoring. Meaning for 10 straight years, for 10 years in a row, he scored more points than anybody else in the NBA, including LeBron James, who was right there with him. Number 3, Kobe was playing with the Shaq, who he had to give shots up to. When LeBron was playing in Cleveland, he had the liberty to shoot as many shots as he wanted. Kobe had to play alongside Shaq. And while playing alongside Shaq, he was averaging 28. If Kobe was playing on a team where he didn't have to share the ball with the Shaq, what do you think he's averaging? Like, come on, like what dumb is having this conversation with me? Like, what are we talking about right now? In 2002, 2003, Kobe averaged 30 with Shaq. 30. But we're having this conversation? Shannon is here to talk to his dumbass viewers. Really, I'm sorry. If you thought that what Shannon Sharpe said made any sense, you're a basketball neophyte. You are. Sorry to break it to you. He made no points. None, because he gave you no context. He just sat up there and withheld all the context and made some dumbass point. I can't believe Shannon is a serious person talking about seriously having a conversation of LeBron being a better scorer than Kobe. Like, there's no way he's having that conversation with me. There's no way you're having that conversation with me that he's a better scorer than Kobe Bryant. I'm not having that conversation with you. That's some stupid stuff. I'm not having that with you. I'm not. Like, LeBron scored 60 points one time in his entire career. Kobe did it two times in 1 week. Come on, man. Knock it off. So Shannon Sharpe, once again, is losing his damn mind over LeBron James, and again, his own viewers are like making fun of him in the comment section. So Shannon again is here coming to the defense of LeBron, even though nobody really attacked him, but essentially that's what he's doing. So as you guys know, Max Kellerman and Chris Paul and Rich Paul went viral this week, where Max Kellerman was essentially saying that if MJ played today, he would average a 40-point triple-double, and he gave his explanation. Take a listen to Max here.
Michael Jordan in today's game would average a 40-point triple-double, Rich.
Now you're out of your mind.
I'll explain. Michael Jordan's usage rate was way ahead of everyone else's in his day. And today the usage rate is even higher for the primary guy. His usage rate would be through the roof. It would dwarf Luka's or Harden's.
You know, sometimes
that's one.
Sometimes people say things, and here's the thing. MJ is my guy. Like,
I'll
like
prove
really,
it.
no, like really.
I got you.
And that's like, we have a great relationship. And I never ask him these things when I'm around him because whatever. But I do believe sometimes people say things that he don't even believe.
I will demonstrate the case. You tell me where there's a flaw in the logic. The usage rate would be even higher than it used to be. Now, the way that guy is used nowadays is as the primary ball handler. Right? They take what used to be a 2 guard and they make him or even a 3, and they make him the point guard, basically. MJ spent 1 year of his career as a point guard. He averaged 32, 8, and 8. That's the first thing. And the usage rate is much higher now. But here's the next thing, Rich. People talk about MJ's outside shooting, right? Because he was a 33-ish% lifetime three-point shooter.
No, he was a born jump shooter. Why would you talk about his outside shooting? The 3-ball, or you just saying
I'm talking about
jump
the 3-ball.
shot?
The 3-ball. MJ,
he would perfect
3 times in his career, shot at least 3 threes a game. Every time he shot at least 3 threes a game, meaning he had more reps doing it, he shot no less than 37%, almost 38% from 3, okay? Meaning, nowadays, a player like MJ would shoot 8, 10, 12 threes a game, given his high usage. And the more he shot, the higher the percentage went, which is in form with how his jump shooting was, his free throw shooting. He could shoot. MJ would be no less than a 37%, maybe a 40% 3-point shooter if he was focusing on that part of his game. And his own stats bear it out. His usage rate would be higher. What does 32, 8, and 8 turn into? What does 37, 5, and 6 turn into? Because he averaged it back then.
No, you're missing a major point. You're basing this as if people still consider the pecking order. These kids today, they're not bowing down to nobody. They're not just going to sit around and let you shoot every shot.
I mean, they do it for Luka and Harden.
No, they don't.
They did it for Harden.
No.
But,
No,
okay,
they don't.
are you
That's
telling
not-
me that Luka or Harden would average more points than MJ?
What I'm telling
They're in
you
the
is-
mid-30s.
What I'm telling you is, in today's NBA, guys are coming in and they're not caring as much as you think about who you are and what you did. Because in their mind, I'm the guy too. So I disagree with that. Now, could he average 40? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you said a 40-point triple-double.
But, Rich, if he's at 32, 8, and 8, in that era without shooting the three. What do you think he is today? You think he's not going to add 5, 8 points? And he had 37
you
points.
said a
He's
40-point triple-double.
He would average over multiple seasons. He would average that.
Oh my God!
And he would win the
I know
championship.
you got the shoes
while doing
on,
it.
but this is ridiculous. And again, you're talking to the biggest fan. Listen. Let me just tell you.
Harden came close to a 30 plus point triple double. Do you know how much better in every area of the game MJ was than Harden? Harden doesn't do a single thing better than MJ.
Do you know I could recite every commercial that came on WGN? Because I never changed the channel.
I got you.
Okay, so this is, but why would you focus? This is a great question that I'm asking, and you go right to Michael Jordan, a guy that we know could do all things.
Okay.
Great. So you heard what Max had to say. So Shannon Sharpe hears that, and they decide to do a show about it on Nightcap. And then Shannon tries to now do a rebuttal to him. And he absolutely falls flat on his face. I mean, he almost had a total mental collapse trying to make his point here. So for those of you who didn't hear this train wreck, I want to play it for you now, and I'm going to come back and continue on. Take a listen to Shannon Sharpe here.
Who do you agree with on this one?
No, I agree with Max. I think, the cream always rises to the top. Like, I do think MJ would probably average about 40 in this era. Okay, Ocho. He was so dynamic. He was fast. He was quick. He was explosive with an unstoppable turnaround mid-range jump shot. Are you kidding? It ain't but a couple guys shoot the midi now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you ain't shooting a three or dunking something at the rim, man, ain't nobody shooting no in-between shot.
40 points on middies, that means he's going to have to get up 8 to 10 threes a game. And he said, I don't like to shoot the three because it takes away from my aggressiveness. Now, something's going to have to change, Joe.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a two-way player, Unc. He gonna get at least 6 to 12 points off defense now. The way these boys shooting this, it's a faster pace. He ain't necessarily probably gonna shoot a lot more threes. I mean, he'll probably take a couple more, but for the most part, he was so relentless in getting to the basket. Who gonna be able to stay in front of him?
Nobody. Nobody
gonna stay in front of him.
I agree with Max too. And you have to think during Jordan's era, they played a little bit more defense, Joe. They was a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
When you go to that goddamn hole, they gonna meet you, huh?
But
yeah.
see,
they gonna welcome you.
You guys are looking at it like Jordan or who he is and what he's become. Now imagine him being on a team and he's not Michael Jordan yet. So now you think they're gonna just say, okay, shoot 27 times a game, because when he averaged that 37, he was shooting about 27, 28 times a game. And the way these kids are wired now, these kids don't really respect anything. It's either to say they respect Jordan now because Jordan is retired, but look at him on your team. It's hard, man. These guys, these kids different now, Joe. They not like you, Joe. They not like you and I.
Nah.
We would have easily, okay, man. Okay, do your thing, bro. These kids, like, I'm trying to get mine.
But even if they didn't care, Joe, Uncle Joe, it's still Jordan. He's still gonna get his regardless of whether they respect him or not.
No, they got to pass you the ball, Joe.
Care who it is or not.
I'll give you a prime example. You get a couple of guys like Kobe. Kobe wasn't conceding ish to Shaq. He's not.
Yeah.
He didn't. And what happened? They broke it up. Kyrie got fed up. He ain't conceding. What happened? They traded him. They broke it up. So you got to look at not like Jordan now with the Jordan brand, the Jumpman, the NASCAR, and all that. You got to look at him at today in a today's game player. Mm-hmm. These guys, they don't respect much, Ocho.
And that's the thing though, Uncle Joe. Even if they don't respect it, we're talking about skill set, what he's able to do, right? What he's able to do. Jordan is one of the few players. I mean, there are few players that can play in any goddamn era and dominate, especially this era today.
But I got to give you the ball, Ocho. I just ain't finna take the ball out and just hand it to you and just turn it over to you now. I'm trying to get mine too.
Listen, hypothetically speaking, we're talking about Jordan at his best. I'm assuming being in today's game. He putting up 40 a game.
Ocho, but you got to realize back then there weren't a whole lot of players. These guys now are more skilled. They're more skilled guys now than they were then.
Right. Absolutely right.
You looking at guys, them guys couldn't shoot. Everybody on the team now can shoot the three.
Yeah,
you had a Steve Kerr, you had a John, you had a Paxson and a Craig Hodges. That's three guys on the Bulls. Every once in a while, Jordan would get hot, but Jordan is about a 32% three-point shooter. These guys now, Do I think Jordan would dominate? Yes, but I think he's going to have to get some threes up. I just don't believe as aggressive as he is to the basket. I just don't know if getting to the basket and shooting the midi, Joe, I don't know if that's enough. You gotta hit the three. You gotta get 6, 7 threes up.
I think he would definitely increase his 3-point percentage, but the fact that could nobody stay in front of him, I don't.
And they let you play zone now, though, Joe.
Yeah, I know, but he ain't gonna. Man,
I think the thing is the 40-point triple double. That's what's throwing me off. If you say he gonna average 40, I give you that. But a 40-point triple double,
that's gonna be
that's the point. I'm not saying he couldn't average 40. Oh, absolutely, he could average 40.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's the 40-point triple double.
I want to talk about the
throwing
triple
me
double
off.
part.
Fantastic. So you heard what he had to say. Shannon did not make one sensible point there. Not one sensible point. You know you have no argument when you start talking about these young guys don't respect you. Bro, what does it matter? If there's a person that you cannot whoop in a fight, whether you respect him or not is irrelevant. You can't beat him. Your respect for him or lack thereof is irrelevant. You can't beat him. If you respect him or you don't, it doesn't matter. These guys respecting MJ or not doesn't matter. It doesn't stop him from doing what he wants to do to them, which is abuse them on the court. That's number one. Number two, Shannon was making a point that made no sense if you listen carefully. He was like, these guys are not deference, they're not deference, they're not passing the ball. Who are you talking about? Who? Who's not passing Michael Jordan the ball? What are you even talking about? What scenario is this that you're describing? Michael is playing with who? That they're not passing him the ball. Who? What franchise would Michael Jordan be playing on that a player on that team would not pass Michael Jordan the ball? That player won't be on the team. And more importantly, Michael Jordan will ensure that he gets the ball from that player. What are you on? What do you mean? What do you mean they wouldn't pass him the ball? What are you talking about? You're not going to pass the ball to the best player in the world? What are you on? I didn't even understand what scenario or universe he was talking about there. They're not going to pass. What do you mean pass him the ball? Like, I'm confused. He would be the number one option regardless of who he plays with. Give me an example. Like, if Jordan played with who? They're not going to pass who? Who? What player in today would you say that you would put on a team with Michael Jordan and you would make a number one option over Jordan? Who? So I don't even understand what the hell Shannon was talking about there. That was just like a scenario that made no sense. He just created a fictitious scenario that would never exist in the world. So you had that point there. In terms of Jordan averaging over 40, he could do that. And I don't think it'll be that difficult. We've already done the math on this. So that's very easy. 40-point triple-double. Well, I've seen MJ average 32, 8, and 8. I've seen him average 32, 8, and 8. And given the fact that teams shoot more these days, I think the opportunity for him to get those assists would be greater. And given the fact that we don't have any traditional bigs, and MJ was a good rebounding guard, I think he could average a triple-double. So let me get this straight. Russell Westbrook could average a 31-point triple-double, but Michael Jordan can't average a 40-point triple-double. These are not serious people. I keep telling y'all, sports media is not a serious medium. These are not serious people trying to have conversations here. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, and I'll finally say this. You know, when I go against some NBA players, some dumbass people be like, "Oh man, you're not an NBA player, so who are you?" But Shannon Sharpe is an NFL player, and some of y'all be listening to him acting like he's making some sense. It's making no sense here. Yo, Victor Wembanyama is a problem. Victor Wembanyama is a problem. I know we've been having this whole conversation of who's going to be the face of the NBA. Is it going to be this guy? Is it going to be that guy? Ladies and gentlemen, I think Victor Wembanyama is the face of the NBA at this point. Victor is must-see TV. He is must-see TV. Yesterday, The San Antonio Spurs are playing against the number 1 seed Boston Celtics, Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference, right? And I thought that it was going to be a very entertaining matchup, especially given the fact that Wemby is going to be going up against some physicality. I think Isaiah Stewart was there as well. So I tuned into the game towards the end of the second half, and Victor Wembanyama was cooking, bro. He was cooking out there, you heard. In the first half, your man had 24 points with a blocks plus minus of 14, 3 blocks, no turnovers, 1 assist, 7 rebounds, 50% shooting from 3, 53% shooting, 54% shooting from the field. We get into later parts of the game, and Wemby is just, he's separating himself from the rest of the humans on the court. You can understand why they call this dude an alien. There was a play that he made where he blocked a Piston in, like, I think around the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter or something like that. He blocked their shot, ran down the floor, hit the alley-oop. And I'm like, yo, come on, man. There was another shot that he hit where he was driving hard left and he banked the shot off the window. I was like, yo, you got to be kidding me. Regardless of your side, that was an incredible shot. But to see the things that this guy is doing is incredible. And more importantly, they are winning. This young man is off to a spectacular start in his NBA career. As we're sitting here speaking, the Spurs are the number 2 team in the Western Conference. The number 2 team in the Western Conference, being led by only a second-year player in Victor Wembanyama. It is incredible. And his stats don't really jump out at you until you watch the games. He's averaging about 24 points per game, 11.2 rebounds. Oh, excuse me, he's a third year. 11.2 rebounds, 3 assists. He's only getting 2 turnovers a game with 1 steal and 3 blocks a game. And a box plus minus is 9.4. His box plus minus last year was 2.2. Now it's 9.4. That's how much of an impact this guy is having on the floor. It is that much of, meaning his teams are winning by 9 points when he's on the floor. I even put up a post in our community yesterday. Was it yesterday? Oh, no, yeah, last night. I said, Victor Wembanyama is must-see TV. This is his league. Another one of our viewers said he truly is an actually generational talent, once-in-a-lifetime player. He's a beast on both sides of the floor. Another person said, I agree with you. Only Taco Fall can give him work. Some people said, hey, man, you're jumping out the window and all of this stuff. I really don't think I am. I really don't. And remember, Victor is starting off his NBA career in the West, not the East. In the West, where teams are good every year. And this dude is doing this. Let me tell you guys something. If the Spurs go to the finals, I'm rooting for the Spurs. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm rooting for the Spurs to win. Because I think it would usher in a new era of basketball. We would now enter a new chapter of the NBA. And if this guy won a championship, I think it would be fantastic. And I'll be all here. I'm all here for it. I want to see it. So last night, there was some pretty exciting games in the NBA. But one of them that I think a lot of people are going to be talking about beyond the game that Victor Wembanyama put up against the Detroit Pistons, Son is a problem. Like, Son is a problem for this world. But there was a game that came on pretty late last night, and it was between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. Now, going into that game, I thought the Nuggets were going to win to begin with, right? I already thought that. So I wasn't surprised at the outcome. Now, I was watching that game going into the fourth quarter, and I was like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I'll catch the results. The Lakers, man, used to be something where I was like, man, I got to watch every game. Now it's like, whatever, man. Y'all do what y'all want. Lakers complain so much, man. The players, like, it's just, the Lakers are such a bad team to watch these days, man. All they do is complain and whine and moan. It's disgusting to watch. The entire team, to be honest with you. So anyway, I wake up in the morning to see the box score. And it turns out that, of course, the Lakers lost 113 to 120. And there was a pretty big play that Nikola Jokic made towards the tail end of the game. I went and watched the highlights. And then I decided, okay, let me look at the box score. So let's look at the box score quickly before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's show. So the Lakers side, LeBron scored 16. Marcus Smart had 9. Ayton, his usually useless self, but he hurt himself, so he only played 4 minutes, so he's out. He was out of the game. Austin Reeves, he had 16 points. Luka Doncic had 27, 7 assists, 11 rebounds. So he did his thing, and his box plus minus was 0, funny enough. So he didn't really hurt his team out there. Rui had 19 points. He played well. And Luke Kennard had 9, and Jackson Hayes already had 19. If you look at the Denver Nuggets side, balanced scoring, Christian Braun, he had 15. Nikola Jokic, 28-point triple-double, box plus minus 6. Julian Strother, yeah, I hope I said his name right, 18 points. Jamal Murray was cooking in that first half, 28, and Tim Hardaway Jr. Had 14 points per game. If you look at the box plus minus on the Lakers side, Jake LaRavia was a minus 16 in 10 minutes. Luka Doncic was 0. Austin Reeves was minus 4. Ayton in 4 minutes was negative 13, and LeBron in 33 minutes was negative 10. So that's the Lakers side, all right? They lost. I don't think this should be front page news. The Lakers are going to lose that game, right? They were going to lose that game, and I don't think anyone should be surprised by that outcome. And with that loss, the Lakers are still in the 6th spot, but they're falling pretty close to ending up in the play-in tournament. They're only 2 games ahead in the loss column, ahead of the San Antonio Spurs, the Phoenix Suns, who beat them, by the way, without Dillon Brooks and Devin Booker. And Dillon Brooks, obviously, you guys know, just got arrested recently. And the Lakers are going to be playing against the Pacers, and then they have the Knicks coming up, the Wolves. So they have some pretty stout teams, and they have the Bulls. No, they have the Knicks and Wolves, the Bulls, and then the Nuggets, and then the Rockets 2 times in a row. So the Lakers are going to have to try to put it together in terms of winning some games, right? So we get to the post game where we get to hear from Socrates himself, JJ Redick, right? And JJ Redick is trying to, explain to you guys in his colorful language of what happened and all this. I'm like, this guy thinks he's going to save his job by doing all of this. So I came across an article from Fadeaway World with the headline saying, JJ Redick shares silver lining after Lakers lost the Nuggets. And I was like, oh, this must be good. Let's get into what this article said. The Los Angeles Lakers couldn't keep their winning ways going against the Denver Nuggets, falling to a hard-fought 113 loss to their former playoff rivals. The loss impeded the Lakers' attempt at charging up the standings, as they are stuck at the number 6 seed with a 37-25 record, 1.5 games behind the 5th seeded Nuggets, who extended their lead over LA. Despite the Lakers making it a one-possession game in crunch time, the Nuggets eked out the win, led by Jamal Murray's 28 points, Nikola Jokic's 28 points, 12 rebounds, 13 assists. While the loss reminded many Laker fans of their struggles against the top-tier opponents this season, it seems head coach JJ Redick had quite a few positives to take home from this loss. He shared compliments about the Lakers' on-court resilience and guarding of Jokic during the post-game interview. So here's JJ. Our group showed a lot of resiliency tonight. Did some really good things. The full front on Joker is difficult with their roster this year. They just have a lot more shooting out there. Not as many guys you can sag off and protect that over-the-top pass. I do think he's a fantastic player. He had 28, 13, and 12. I thought we did a good job battling him, our smalls, both as low men, and when we doubled on him when we were switching groups. They did a fantastic job of being physical and turning it over. We didn't come up with a rebound, and I think we did some good things tonight, right? So JJ thinks they did some good things. He's over there using some basketball jargon that only him and the people that are coaching this team knows, and basically trying to say, oh, let's look at the silver lining. Look, guys, this team ain't no good. They're not any good. The Lakers have been very good against sub 500 opponents. Even if you look at the Western Conference standings, okay, given the fact that the Lakers are behind the Denver Nuggets, the distance between the Lakers and the Nuggets as a team is not separated by just one position in the standings. The Nuggets are an exponentially better team than the Lakers. I think the Rockets are better than the Lakers. The Timberwolves, they might be better than the Lakers. Don't even bring up the San Antonio Spurs. They're better than the Lakers. The Thunder, they're better than the Lakers. The Lakers are with the Suns, Clippers, like they're in that second batch of teams. We also saw the spat that took place on court between Luka Doncic and JJ Redick, and I said in yesterday's show that Redick is not Luka's guy. Luka got to the Lakers, and that's who he met. That's not his guy. So Luka doesn't have the same. Luka doesn't have the same affinity and relationship with JJ that maybe a LeBron would. And I don't think JJ is going to make it past this summer. This is my opinion. If this team has an abysmal finish to this season, I don't see how he makes it past this summer. And I've given my reasons why I think he should be fired. I've said them on many occasions, and you guys already know where I stand with that. This colorful language doesn't matter. What matters is winning. Results. I don't care how you make it sound at the end of games. You got to get some results. And as things stand, the Lakers, you can make an argument. They're pretty much the same. They're at the same spot that they were with Darvin Ham, or probably they took a step back, which is crazy. Because at least Ham was able to get them to the Western Conference Finals. JJ has not been able to do anything of the sort. And I don't even want to imagine a scenario in which the Lakers miss the playoffs entirely, where they end up in a play-in tournament and get knocked out. There's a possibility of that. What if they go out there and just lay an egg, and they just pack it in, and stop playing defense and start complaining? They could lose one of those games. Today we got a very interesting show, and it was really prompted by a poll that we put up on the channel about an hour ago, where I asked the audience, I said, who was a better player at 21 years old, Kobe Bryant or LeBron James? And out of the 1,400 voters, please make sure you guys are going to vote and leave a comment on it, 77% of them said Kobe Bryant, while 23% said LeBron. And I also want to point out that we're not fans of LeBron over here, so some could say maybe the percentages will be a little bit skewed. But let's go through the comments here. One person said, 21-year-old Kobe was a savage. Why you do LeBron like this? Another person said Kobe was winning championships at 21. Another viewer, at 21, Kobe was sharing the ball with Shaq. LeBron had to share the ball with no one. I would say they were similar, but Kobe had more polish, in my opinion. Another person says, this might be the dumbest one yet, Charles. Kobe had Shaq at 21, LOL. What does him having Shaq have to do with how good he is? Another person says, you do realize that Kobe at 21 was, Kobe realized that at 21 was the 1998-1990 season. 1999 season, no, it wasn't, buddy. Nah, bub, you're wrong. You might want to go check those numbers again. Another viewer said Kobe destroyed the Kings and Spurs in the playoffs at 21. Another person said, is this really a question? And it kept on going on and on and on and on and on and on, right? One other guy said, they're both great, but give me LeBron, right? So I decided to go look back at their careers. So I didn't even ask, what year was Kobe Bryant 21? And that was in June, right? 2007, that's when, June 7, 2020, Kobe was 21 years old, and LeBron was 21 in December of 2005, right? So let me go look at LeBron's numbers in 2005. So that year, LeBron James averaged 31 a game on 48% shooting from the field, 33% from the three, was 74% from the free throw line, while getting you, I believe this is rebounds. So yeah, 7 rebounds a game. 7 rebounds a game, 6.6 assists per game, right? With a box plus minus of 3.5, right? And only 2.3 turnovers. That year, Kobe Bryant, he was scoring 28.5 points per game on 46% shooting from the field, 85% from the free throw line, with 5.9 rebounds, 5 assists, while getting you, 1.7 steals. I didn't check LeBron's steals. Kobe didn't have that many. How many turnovers did Kobe have a game that year? I think 3 turnovers a game with a box plus minus of 5. Box plus minus of 5.4. So Kobe actually had a bigger impact on winning with his team. But here's the difference. Beyond the fact that Kobe was a spectacular playoff performer, during that period, Kobe was also playing with Shaquille O'Neal. And I think that that's really important to point out. Kobe was putting up those numbers while he had to defer to a certain extent to a prime Shaq. And he still found a way to be extremely, extremely effective. People don't realize Kobe Bryant is really, like I say, y'all don't realize Kobe is really, really good, guys. Do you know Kobe Bryant is really, really good at basketball? Do y'all know do y'all know how good of a player number 8 Kobe was? Do y'all know just how good of a player number 8 Kobe Bryant was? Number 8 Kobe was really, really good at playing basketball. Really, really good. Like, really, really, really good. If you look at their playoff numbers, LeBron was averaging, I think that's the year he made the playoffs, I believe. So he averaged 30.8 points per game on 47.6% shooting, 74% from the free throw line, getting you 8 rebounds, 5.8 assists. He did get 5 turnovers, which is quite kind of high, but he did have 1.4 steals per game with a box plus minus of negative 3.8. If you look at Kobe Bryant, that year in the playoffs, what were Kobe's numbers? So that year he was averaging 29 points a game on 47% shooting from the field, 33.3, 82% from the free throw line, getting you 7.3 rebounds, 6.1 assists. He did have 3 turnovers. He was getting 1.6 steals, and Kobe's box plus minus that year was 13.3. Kobe's box plus minus in the playoffs that year was 13.3. People think that Shaq carried Kobe. You can't carry somebody, and we both got the same amount of weight on our backs, bro. If you're carrying 200 pounds on your back and I'm carrying 195, bro, you're not that much stronger than me. You're not. So I think this is a pretty interesting debate. Who was better at the age of 21? And if you had to ask me, I'm going with Kobe Bryant every day, all day, every day. And I'll tell you why. First of all, Kobe was a better perimeter shooter. He was a better defender. He's more clutch. And he has an ability to play better with a big man than LeBron does. I think if you pair LeBron with the Shaq, I'm not sure how it works exactly. Because at that stage in their careers, for LeBron to be effective, he needed to play with a lot of shooters. And he didn't like playing with a lot of players that would clog up the paint. Even Zydrunas Ilgauskas, I can't even say his name, he would stretch the floor and hit threes. Shaq ain't hitting no 3 at all. So Kobe had to be an exceptional mid-range shooter, which he was. Now, Kobe did have the ability to play one-on-one at times, but even when you double Kobe when he played by himself, you saw him average 35. When you can key in on him, the guy averaged 35 in a season. That's when you could double him. You could double the guy who give you 35 a game, bro. Like 35 a game, son. 35 a game, bro. 35 a game. So I think that this is a really, really, really good question. And you could do this for every single year. 22, 23, 24, 25. You can just keep going on and on and on and on and on. Some LeBron fans try to make, is this a question because Kobe played with Shaq? That doesn't affect Kobe Bryant's greatness. But what I do know is that Kobe would have had better numbers if he had a team like LeBron James, where he's not sharing the scoring load with anyone. It's just him. Do you know what his numbers would look like? This is the thing that people don't realize. You know how many points Kobe Bryant would have finished his career with if he didn't have to play with these guys? In terms of just looking at individual statistics, it would have been crazy, right? Absolutely crazy stuff. So I think it's a pretty interesting. I think it's an interesting debate to have when we look at these guys at that point in their careers. The games were totally different, but they were both very athletic. LeBron was more athletic than Kobe Bryant, but Kobe was more polished of a scorer. Like, it was clear, right? LeBron, the defensive game plan was make a wall and force him to shoot. There was no real game plan for Kobe. Maybe you would just say maybe encourage him to take bad shots, but even then, he was making bad shots. Go look at his field goal shooting percentage that year. I mean, in the playoffs that year, Kobe Bryant shot 47%. You consider that stopping somebody? He shot 32% from 3, but he only attempted 2.1, so it's not like as if he was hurting the team. But his box plus minus was 13. 13. and he was coming up clutch. Like, so y'all know who I'm going to roll with, but I also want to hear from the audience. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show, and I'm out. Peace.